now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Culture prevents so many negative things from happening to us as individuals and as communities.
Strong roots begin with a healthy heart. For Indigenous women, heart health is part of caring for community, culture, and future generations. Even small steps can help protect what matters most. Discover ways to support your heart at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats, because your heart beats for generations. Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovated Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation. Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Visit during free Thursday nights. Every week from 5 to 9 p.m., there's something new to explore. Enjoy date-friendly events like artist talks, performances, and exhibition openings, or explore art-making open library hours and exhibition tours. Settle into your weekend among community. Free every Thursday night and free every day for citizens and members of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clearing skies with a low of 57, then Friday, sunshine with a high of 80. There's something for everybody at Cafe Latte in St. Paul, from award-winning soup, salad, sandwiches, and desserts to treats from the bakery made fresh daily and a pizza and wine bar. Cafe Latte is located on the corner of Grand Avenue and Victoria Street. Check them out at cafelatte.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous. Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut. He didn't cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. A kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, today we got a jam-packed show. We have our friend Robert Liliigren, CEO of Native American Community Development Institute, and then later on, Wendy Pilot ending the show with us with our sacred animal portion and some updates of what's going on all the work that she does, and for our relatives with tails, fins, ears, noses. Let's bring Robert on before I start really mentioning what else our sacred animals have. Thanks, Robert, for always. You know, I just got to say this. I was just on the avenue, and it was a gloomy day, and there were still things happening at Four Sisters Market. It was jam-packed in there. And just the vibe of the avenue, I just love being there and love seeing all the natives, smiling natives. And you must feel just like, because we know we're around the same age, what Franklin Avenue used to be way back.
Yeah, bonjour, Robert. Thanks for the sacred animal anatomy lesson. Appreciate it. And yeah, it was great seeing you at Four Sisters Farmers Market. It was kind of a cool thing that it's rainy here today, and so rather than cancel the market, they moved it inside our gallery. All My Relations Arts. We're between shows right now. It was, compact, but it was so cool. And we also had Elders Bingo. That was going to be the activity for today. And so nearby, the Minneapolis American Indian Center has congregate dining for our elders. just a block away. And so after congregate dining, they came down to the Four Sisters Farmers Market and played Elder Bingo. And I was working in the office, so I wasn't participating. But you could tell when someone got a bingo, the place just kind of exploded.
Well, I give Ruth Anna Buffalo a hard time because they brought back the cakewalk, and I remember that in grade school. So every time I hear about the cake walk, it's like, I want to go to the cakewalk.
It takes you back a bit. And I do really want to credit our Four Sisters Farmers Market manager. It's Destiny Jones, your Ho Chunk sister. And I was kind of wondering how she was going to handle the weather situation. And to her credit, she engaged with every one of our scheduled vendors. Every one of them wanted to go forward with the market and move it indoors. But I just like the kind of collective and collaborative decision-making she used there. And it was great. It was a great vibe around the building today. And the coffee shop, Paulo Ground's coffee shop, was packed because of it.
Yeah, definitely. And again, love the Franklin Avenue vibe. And it really starts out with a good cup of coffee at the Powwow Grounds. You know, I'm going to get dark here a little bit, Robert, and just talk about the Minnesota man who pounded on Democratic lawmakers' doors in the middle of the night, posing as a police officer, pleaded guilty today. And, you know, Vance Bolter, 58, sparked the largest. It's just, we had a long conversation today with the state Senator Mary Kunesh, and it's just been a crazy year and really awful for a lot of people.
It has been a very crazy year. This Vance Butler assassination, essentially. He killed the Speaker Emerita of our House, a really, really respected, I could say beloved politician, Melissa Hartman, her husband, and their dog. And he also approached another state lawmaker, a senator, and shot him 8 times, and his wife, and they survived and protected their daughter. And he was on a spree, right? He was moving around the whole
list.
Yeah, he had a list, and it was creepy. And and you know, he disguised himself as a police officer. He would, when it was the middle of the night, like 3 a.m. or something like that, and he'd go to these lawmakers' homes and knock on the door. And as a lawmaker, it's not that an unusual thing for a police officer to show up at your house at 3 a.m. if there's some emergency or urgency. And he had his vehicle rigged out like a police officer's vehicle. Real police officers actually encountered him at one of the crime sites and sort of let him go. They thought he was, so. And yes, he pled guilty. And that's going to save us all a lot of trauma and everything. But what really I want to know why. You know, that's what was his motive? What was what generated his list? Because what was creepy was there wasn't really, he was a particular individual, but there wasn't really a lot of evidence leading up to that he was going to do something like that, right? It just seemed to kind of come out of the field. It was just, it's diabolical. That's about the only word I can think of for it.
Yeah, and in the whole gun situation, I guess at his home, he was stocked to the T's with all these different guns. And again, then, later on in the summer, we had the school shooting. And then later on early in the year, we had the shooting of our friends and relatives in the ICE surge. And so it's been, and your boots on the ground and your organization's boots on the ground, and it's really been heavy. So today, and being on the Avenue today always reminds me of good things and good things to come.
I love hearing you say that, Robert. Thanks very much. It has been kind of a hard time here, right? And suddenly Minneapolis is known for all these not so good things. George Floyd's murder, the ICE surge from December to March, and that was really painful. And I think I'm still coming to terms with that. I mean, I'm just sort of realizing, especially those of us who are sort of in it, that it churned up a lot of trauma, right? And so to take the time to care for ourselves and things. and then these political assassinations. It's like, yeah. And so the one thing it is showing, and I love what you said about being on Franklin Avenue, the American Indian Cultural Corridor, but even through the ICE surge, it was grim and it was tense here. And I'm still not convinced that the rest of the world kind of understands how severe this occupation was, especially right where we are, right? We have a lot of new arrival, immigrant, refugee, asylee neighbors, right? In our geography as well, we share that. Native people and organizations were targeted through that ICE surge, which is kind of a head scratcher. We're the furthest thing from immigrants in this country, on this land. But people held, and the whole world saw that, or the people who were paying attention saw that. I have a sticker on my water bottle that I love. It's "We keep each other safe" in Minnesota.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the bummers, though, worldwide, people know what we went through or supported our actions of what we went through, but our GOP is in denial about the great work that was done on boots on the ground and the things that we've learned over the years from, well, I want to say from Standing Rock to George Floyd to this ICE surge. We know how to work together.
We do. And I think that in many ways, the Indigenous approach, the response informed kind of the broader response as well. And you mentioned George Floyd, and we had quite a bit of rioting here in Minneapolis after George Floyd was murdered by a Minneapolis police officer. And we, in the Native community, we organized and used people to keep our community and assets safe, and we were so successful. So when this ICE thing happened, we knew what to do. We just leapt action. It was really something to watch.
It really was. And we are here with Robert Liliigren, CEO of Native American Community Development Institute here in Minnesota in the Twin Cities. And we're going to take a short break. This is Native Roots Radio. Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Visit during free Thursday nights. Every week from 5 to 9 p.m., there's something new to explore. Enjoy date-friendly events like artist talks, performances, and exhibition openings, or explore art-making open library hours and exhibition tours. Settle into your weekend among community. Free every Thursday night and free every day for citizens and members of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org.
Maintaining our health, particularly our heart health, is very important to us as a family.
Your heart gives you time with family, time with community, time to pass down what matters. Protecting your heart helps keep those moments alive. A visit with a healthcare provider can be one step toward a healthier future. Learn more at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats. Your heart health is essential because your heart beats for generations.
This is Chase Iron Eyes announcing a new show on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, powered by Native Roots Radio. The show is called Native American Patriot Talk Radio. What will we do on the show? We are going to explore and dive into the source of American constitutional sovereignty, the intersection of Native American and legal issues. Find us the first and third Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. on AM 950.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and I want to be your next United States Senator, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot, and we are with Robert Liliigren, our White Earth Ojibwe relative here in Minnesota, and also CEO of Native American Community Development Institute here in the Twin Cities in Minnesota. Robert, how long have you been on the air with us?
Well, when did the show start? It's been a minute.
10 years. We're
pretty close to that because we used to do your pre-recorded Saturday show, which was a lot of fun. And then when we shifted to the live format, it's been probably pretty close to 10 years.
Yep, definitely. And what's going to be fun too this year? It's been confirmed. We're going to be at Pride at our old time, which was 1 p.m. on Saturday before we went 5 days a week, and one of the main host guests is going to be Robert Liliigren. So we're glad to have you back.
We did that last. No, thanks for inviting me back. We did that last year. It's a lot of fun. It's a huge celebration here down at one of our key parks, Loring Park. It's the neighborhood my dad grew up in. It was kind of the Indian neighborhood back then, and but it's gorgeous, sort of our central park almost in Minneapolis. It's about 1 million people between the parade and the event in the park, so it's a big deal. But it's good to have that visibility, that presence, to be in that community. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be in a different location, and definitely there's chairs for people to come up and come and grill Robert Liliigren, ask him some questions. We'll have another mic. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I don't know on that part, but yeah, no, it should be good. And just this morning, I was in City Hall very early. Minneapolis City Hall, there was a big gay pride celebration, kickoff, a resolution, things like that. And I was invited to be the keynote speaker at the event. And I served on Minneapolis City Council for 12 years. And I'm a two-spirit person myself. And so the organizers told me that they thought it was important to have an elder's voice in the room. And that was really what an honor, I guess. And I will tell you, these young actors, when they were young, one of the first things I opened with after introducing myself in Ojibwe was that I attended my first Pride when I was 19 years old in 1980. You could almost hear this group of very young people gasp, like, whoa, 1980, you're old.
The 1900s.
Right, something like that. And I said, yeah, I'm sure that was before most people in this room were even born. And they're like, yeah, lots of nods. So
yeah, well, last year we had a great time. We had Uncle Jace with us.
And, Auntie Jace.
Auntie Jace, thank you. Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh. Yes, and that was a good time and great conversation, and we're going to do the same thing. Before I move on too, you mentioned that you were a city council member, and we always have different people jumping on the show. You were the first Native American and Two-Spirit city council member in Minneapolis history, correct?
I was the first tribal member elected to any office in Minneapolis. There had been one openly gay council member that preceded me by a bit. And then the year I was elected, there were actually 3 gay men elected to the city council in that same election cycle, which drew a lot of attention, national attention, both good and bad, I will say that. But for me, that's always really demonstrates the power, 2 things. One, the power of having a place at the table, right? You can actually do things, but also having a little built-in community, right? The 13 council members, 3 of us were gay. And so we could really move a lot of justice issues along probably more easily than we could have in the past. And that was the theme of my remarks this morning, was the importance of visibility and the importance of community.
Yeah, absolutely. And we joke that you're on like 18 boards across the Twin Cities.
It's only 17, Robert.
But that's no joke, and that's part of I want to ask you about this too, but that's part of opening the door for other natives.
Right.
Yeah, and we talk about that all the time. We have a producer here that you met, Misko, and you've known her too, and I've known her since she was a 9th grader at high school, and these are the future that you and I always talk about that are coming, and we're so proud of.
I agree, and touching on a lot of that too. It's just been a theme of my work, a theme of your work, especially where we are in sort of the generational trajectory now, but always be bringing bringing people with you, right? Opening doors, making ways for people to engage in the system. And it's cool to see these young people, when I first participated in Pride in 1980, it was a protest, right? And that was a theme today. And at this whole Pride, you'll see it a lot. Pride is protest, right? Cool. But it was a protest march. It was about 2,000 people. Now it's about 1 million. There was about 2,000 of us that marched. And then down in Loring Park, we were on one little tiny stage and with a lot of drag performers and things. But for me, it was so important to do two things. One, be visible, which I talked about earlier, and to be in community. And to me, that's always been the heart of it. It's always been about protest. It's always been about community, but they're really amplifying and elevating those themes for the whole festival this year.
Well, what's interesting too, Robert, and I'd love to get deep into this too. We haven't talked about this in a while, but election season's coming up, and you have offered and have helped politicians, new politicians too, and maybe even somebody like myself, a tribal politician, to get elected. And how do you see that this cycle? Are there people reaching out to you, or do you have availability? Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate your saying that. And when I first decided to run for office, I came from so far outside the political system and process. I mean, I always voted and things, but I'd never really been involved in electoral politics directly as a candidate or anything. And it was really frustrating because I was clearly a challenger to the system, right? And it was hard for me to get experienced politicians to help me. They saw me as running against the party, which in some ways I was, but I thought that was a healthy thing. And so a few people would kind of meet with me. We'd have to meet in these secret locations because they didn't want to, seem like they were working against the party, but they did help me. And during that time, it was really frustrating. I was just a guy who wanted to do some good things, right? Or wanted to help out. It's kind of frustrating no one helped me. And so I really made a determination even then that I will help anyone that asks me. I especially enjoy helping new candidates. I have a policy of I'll meet with anyone that asks. I might not support you at the end of the day, but if I have information that can help you be involved in the system, I'm going to help you do that. And that's been really rewarding. And I look at some of the people, including you, who were successful with your campaigns and who were kind enough to engage me. You are especially satisfying because you actually listened to me. And you pretty much did everything I advised, and that's an honor to see someone do that. But it really contributed to your success in electoral politics. So do they come not so much now? Not so much. They do sometimes for fundraisers. I am invited into a few people's advisory groups or kitchen cabinets. Not as much as I used to, and that's fine. Because one of the things I've realized as I become an elder, that one of the ways to support next generation leadership or new leadership is I need to step out a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. And I know I take up a lot of space and a lot of oxygen in a room. And so maybe I need to step out of that room so that somebody else can step in and I can support them into that. And that's a lesson I've learned with time and from some very wise political friends of my own. We need to make room for the next generation.
Yeah. And that's what we talked about for quite a few years before we tape our 2-hour Native Roots Radio about how proud we are about the young ones coming up and how they're learning the language and doing things that our generation didn't do. So as you know, it's removal season in Indian country, so I might be running again. So I might be calling. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, now I mostly get fundraising requests.
Yeah. I might be running again, but no, my cup is full right now, and especially with exciting things that are happening with the circle. I got a chance to kind of preview to you what the magazine's going to look like.
It looks great. I don't know if we're going to talk about that or if that's hush hush until it comes out, but congratulations on your first issue of the circle as managing editor. The Circle is the premier urban Indian community newspaper here. And I know you're doing some incredibly cool reimagining of the Circle, but yeah, I got to see the proof or whatever of your first issue, and it looks great. You have been busy.
Yeah, a lot of, you know, as we talk, Robert, and yes, I do listen. We engage our young ones that have, if I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong room. And I got some smart people helping me.
Great. Good for you. I feel the same way. You know what the caliber of the NACDI staff. I mean, they're some of the most amazing Native professionals around. And it's just an honor to work with them. But I'm the same way. I'm good at picking smart people to support the work. I don't have to be the smartest person.
Right on, exactly. Hey, we're here with Robert Liliigren. We got another segment with him. We got potpourri. Robert can talk about anything he wants. So, hey, this is Native Roots Radio. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Ho! Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Warmer weather, sunny skies, summer is here. At the Walker, this means mini golf is open on the rooftop. Artist-led activations return to the hillside, and the cinema has a series of curated films. It's the perfect time to visit. Gallery admissions are free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org/summer. I heard sex trafficking happens a lot in Indian country. What is that?
Here are some of the real reasons why sex trafficking happens in Indian country. Unequal gender roles that were forced on us by colonization. Communities don't have enough resources. Silence around domestic and sexual violence. Lack of attention and justice for missing and murdered Indigenous people. There's a lot of behavior that keeps our communities out of balance. These are just a few true reasons why Native communities are targeted by traffickers. When these acts of violence happen in our communities, it opens us all up for exploitation.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Heart health is more than just the physical well-being. It represents like a foundation of vitality, resilience, and the ability to live fully.
Your heart carries stories of resilience, love, and survival. Caring for your heart means honoring yourself and the generations before and after you. It means protecting your ability to gather, laugh, and be present. Learn more about your heart health at hennepincounty.gov/heart-beats, because your story matters and your heart beats for generations.
This is Chase Iron Eyes announcing a new show on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, powered by Native Roots Radio. The show is called Native American Patriot Talk Radio. What will we do on the show? We are going to explore and dive into the source of American constitutional sovereignty, the intersection of Native American and legal issues. Find us the first and third Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. on AM 950.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Visit during free Thursday nights. Every week from 5 to 9 p.m., there's something new to explore. Enjoy date-friendly events like artist talks, performances, and exhibition openings, or explore art-making open library hours and exhibition tours. Settle into your weekend among community. Free every Thursday night and free every day for citizens and members of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clearing skies with a low of 57, then Friday, sunshine with a high of 80. There's something for everybody at Cafe Latte in St. Paul, from award-winning soup, salad, sandwiches, and desserts to treats from the bakery made fresh daily and a pizza and wine bar. Cafe Latte is located on the corner of Grand Avenue and Victoria Street. Check them out at cafelatte.com.
AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot, and during the break, Robert, Alfred Walking Bull has accepted our invitation.
Oh, great.
At Pride, and that you guys will be our guests here and come on out and see us, and it's going to be awesome.
Love it. So great. It's good to hear that we'll be sitting there with Alfred Walking Bull. He's a activist, kind of high profile Two-Spirit member. He went home to the reservation, I think. If I follow him on social media, I think he's on a trip home, which is great, but he's got something to say, and he's very good at saying it. He does a little media here and things, and some organizing and activism. So that'll be really good.
Yeah, and he's looking at his Facebook now. He's got a Substack, a website, and he's on Blue Sky along with us here on Native Roots Radio. And we really appreciate the opportunity to be on Blue Sky and talk to all our friends, especially after what happened with X and all that. So it's good to do the shift and be around like-minded minds.
Agreed. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, talk a little bit. You just celebrated, I do believe, 10 years as the CEO.
Yes, I did.
It's amazing. So what are we doing? Are we on a 5 or a 7 or a 10-year path to have the young ones take over our organizations?
Well, I think that's really a good question, right? And I used to say, and this, so being there for 10 years, it makes me kind of wonder, have I been there too long, right? Is the organization still fresh? Is it time for me to step aside, make room for next generation? And that day is coming. I see that, and that's just fine. But I think this idea, you're kind of touching on it, Robert, about planning to replace ourselves, right? Succession, that's the term that's used a lot. And at NACDI, we ask everyone to be thinking along those terms of succession. And we ask the question, if you're not here, how does your work get done? And then how do we kind of embrace that, systematize it, and things. And so too often, I think, especially in leadership, but too often those questions aren't asked. And so suddenly if something happens to me, what happens to the organization? And a lot of organizations are really highly identified and associated with their leadership, right? Mm-hmm. And so if that leadership goes away, what happens to the organization? And so it's good to see Native orgs here and organizations in general, nonprofits, being more intentional about succession planning. At NACDI, we're experimenting with a co-leadership model that might, come in while I'm still there, or when I'm gone, or how do I evolve kind of into whatever's next for me. And so I find that exciting, and we have some great examples in our community. Laura Waterman Woodstock, our great ancestor, who helped found McGizzy Communications here. And she was very good about planning her succession. She actually had kind of two lined up, ready to go. And then Mike Gozy, who was the CEO of American Indian Community Development Corporation, he brought young people in, upskilled their leadership, their knowledge of development. And then he stepped out and really gave space for these fine young Native professionals to step in. And so I think it's part of our role, right, to figure out what leadership means. And for me, and I'm sure for you, it's it's what does being an elder actually look like? Mm-hmm. How do I behave because I'm an elder? And I got to give a lot of credit to some of this younger emerging leadership. They respect that generational piece, you know. They probably give me more respect and deference than I really deserve, but they do it, and that means something to me.
Yeah, it is, and I'm glad we talk about it because I think prior generations really didn't talk about it, and even our generation. I think it's like the boogeyman in the closet, but we have to do that in a good way, you know?
Right. And we have so many assets here that were really gifts from our elders and ancestors. I think of that generation as the founders, you know, the people who founded AIM, the people who founded so many of our organizations here. And that's why we have it. That's our legacy, right? And so what are we going to do with that? And are we just going to squander it, or are we going to build it for the next generations? And here in the Twin Cities, anyway, I feel like we're really deliberate about building something we can pass on to the next generations. And to the credits of the founders, you know, they were so busy in the fight, right? Everything was a fight for them. And so maybe they couldn't take as much time to be as intentional about bringing the next generation of leadership in. And so we learn, right? We learn every generation.
That's just amazing. I really feel like that was one of the first things. And a matter of fact, I talked to Alex about it, who works at Native American Community Development Institute, about talking about a succession plan right away when I took over the circle, because it's a gem that's been around since 1980, and it has so much great history. And it's my job to hold on to it long enough to hand it off in a good way.
I love that. I love it. And and so I know we have very similar feelings about this, but when people come to work at NACDI on their first day, I like to talk about their last day, right? And I did that for myself as well. On my first day there, I talked about my last day, and to acknowledge, especially these young professionals who are just rising in their careers. You know, I don't expect you to work at NACDI forever, but I do want you to be better prepared and more self-assured when you leave NACDI. And so that's the work. So I think that should just be built into work. None of us are here forever, for sure. And none of these jobs are really forever. So I'm starting to wonder, I used to say this, and I probably shouldn't say it out loud, as someone who served on a bunch of boards, it is sort of this prevailing philosophy. If you've been at an organization in leadership, if you've been at an organization for 5 years and you haven't accomplished what you want to accomplish, it's time for you to go. And if you've been in an organization in leadership for 5 years and you have accomplished what you want to set out to accomplish, it's time for you to go.
Yeah.
But here I'm at NACDI for 10 years. So I'm like, oh, maybe I should alter that.
Stretch that out to 17 years, and I'm with you. You know, I think that's kind of the plan, because I'm 65. It'd be great to be able to hand over the reins of the radio show and the circle and the other things that I'm doing, one to my family with the store, but also to the next generations that really are into it and will keep it going. So yeah, that's a really interesting talk here. And
well, and those next generations are coming in, you know, we were just talking about, they're smarter than us, right?
Yeah.
But really, and we've talked about this before as well, as native people and native professionals, they're just on such more solid ground than we were, right? They've been raised with such an incredible awareness of who they are, where they're from, what their cultures are, their traditions, their languages, you know, and they're so self-assured. It's exciting to watch them step into their own.
Yeah, definitely. And when we were young, how many first generation college students did we know? You know,
Right.
It went on, but that's getting to be a thing. We have lawyers, we have doctors, we have
architects.
Sam.
Yeah. So no, it's a different day, and it's how it should be, right? Clyde Belcourt, revered ancestor and AIM founder, used to talk about this a lot, and you know, the sort of 7 generation strategies, and He once told me, "You're a fifth generation Native. Your job is to go into the system and figure out how it works, and then come and teach the rest of us." And I thought, yeah, that's what I kind of want to do anyway. So I really felt like I was in the right place at the right time. But of course, every generation is the new first generation of the next 7 generations. But the guidance of Clyde Belcourt really helped me define where I kind of wanted to go.
I love hearing stories about Clyde. And Clyde, I got on Clyde's radar with the show, and he'd been on the show many times. And I got on his phone call list too, because Clyde, was getting older. He'd call people all the time and just check in and see how you're doing. And it was amazing to be with this gentle giant and know the history that he wasn't a gentle giant. He was knocking doors down for our Native people, and
Yes, he was.
That other side of him.
The thunder before the storm, right? Now to see his son Crow Belcourt really starting to step in as a important cultural carrier within the community. He's a young man who has experienced a lot of grief in the last few years, the loss of both his parents, his sibling, and others, and he's turning that into something useful to the community, right? And he shows up. He does a lot of drum and song and things, but also sharing his cultural knowledge. He's one of the people we now go to open our meetings and events and things in a good way, and he steps in. He was reluctant to do it. He used to say, or I've heard him say, my dad taught me that if someone asks you to open something in a good way, offers tobacco, is respectful, you say yes. And so I don't remember ever saying no, actually. So it's the generational thing, right? We have to measure our successes generationally.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we got a minute left here, and I really wanted to get into, especially for our first-time listeners, when we talk about, how Native American Community Development Institute is run. And I don't know if you can give a 30-second or 1-minute rundown, because it's amazing, and it goes really with our conversation today about your history, Native American development history, the circle history, and then what you're doing with your group.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for asking, Robert. And the one thing I kind of lift up specific programming, I would encourage people to go to the All My Relations Arts Gallery Facebook page or website. There's this incredible First Peoples Fund partnership, All My Relations Arts and NACDI. It's a free two-day artist professional development workshop. That's July 24th, 25th. It's free, but limited spots. And then July 9th, we're having an opening reception of our new show, Sequoian Synergy. It's a group show. We do about 4 major shows a year there. It's going to be good. July 9th is the opening. And so I hear the music starting, so I'm thinking our time must be just about up. But we can talk more about how NACDI runs. It's an indigenous model of caring for yourself first, your family second, and your community third. And it's an incredibly empowering model.
Pinigigi, Robert, thank you so much for coming on as usual, and always great to see you on the Avenue.
Yeah, it's great. Giga Wabaman.
We'll see you soon. Up next, Wendy Pilot in our Sacred Animal section. We'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
When we heal from our traumas,
when we face our fears,
let go of our addictions,
when we relearn our values,
when we live our teachings,
respecting our elders,
cherishing and honoring our children,
when we honor and take care of our spirit,
there will be no room left for sexual violence.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Warmer weather, sunny skies, summer is here. At the Walker, this means mini golf is open on the rooftop. Artist-led activations return to the hillside, and the cinema has a series of curated films. It's the perfect time to visit. Gallery admissions are free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org/summer. Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovated Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
Hi, it's Dr. Evan Adams, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio. Hey, Victor, you better be listening.
In this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our wolf and bear populations throughout Turtle Island. Say no to the hunts.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Native Roots Radio. Misko, I saw that as a fake howl. I saw you fake howl because you were not unmuted.
She was lip syncing her howl.
Okay, we're going to take you off, Misko. Thanks. Good attempt. Next week. Ho! Wow. Hey, I want to introduce my awesome and beautiful wife, Wendy. Wendy's been an animal advocate for many years. She's co-founder of Native Roots Radio, which is in our 10th year of existence. This is our 10th season, and a big New York Knicks fan. Oh,
yeah. Ooh, they won last night in seconds to spare.
1.34 or something.
It was a fun game. I was jumping up and down in the living room. I couldn't believe it.
Down 29 points.
I know. It's amazing. Looking forward to the next game. When is it? Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to be ready.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Hey, you got some updates, and I just want to always preface this is when I'm out in the community, which is a lot, Wendy, people are always asking, when's Wendy coming on? So thank you.
Cool.
Seriously, thank you for coming on
Absolutely.
and saving the show tonight.
Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them. And I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, formerly known as the Humane Society of the United States. And I work on animal issues at the local and state level. And it's always my pleasure to do that. But talking about New York, unfortunately, on Monday, a horse, a 16-year-old carriage horse named Denise, died after suffering a medical emergency while pulling a carriage in Central Park. Officials said the cause of death remains under investigation, so we'll wait and see what happened. I don't know what the weather was like on Monday. I'd have to go back and check. I think it was a hot day. This has been going on for a really long time, and there's so much controversy where, and I feel like the consensus is that there's more people who are against the carriage, horse-drawn carriages in Central Park and elsewhere, also in the United States. The city council in New York is going to be bringing up this issue again. There is a legislation that they want to bring forward called Rider's Law. And Rider was a horse that died in Central Park not too long ago. But again, the incident has prompted animal welfare advocates to once again push for Rider's Law, a proposal that would ban horse-drawn carriages in New York City and replace them with electric carriages. The measure was voted down by the City Council Committee in 2025, but city officials say several new bills related to carriage horses are expected to be introduced and considered in the coming weeks. So again, this has been going on for a really long time. I don't think I've ever taken a carriage ride in Central Park, ever.
Well, I know I
really
haven't.
don't.
It's sickening.
It is sickening. I really
It
feel
doesn't
like it
matter
is.
whether it is. They were sucking up the exhaust of all these
Yes.
millions of cars.
Cars.
They're out in the, they could get hit by a car. We've seen that. And I remember one of the times we were at Central Park, and I think we gave him the finger, didn't we, the guy? And then he started yelling at us.
What I did was, you might have given him the finger, yeah. And all I said to him was, I hope in my lifetime you guys will be gone. And he started yelling at me and everything. But I really feel like I really hope that in my lifetime, they are transitioned to electric buggies. The guy could still be up there, driving the buggy, and it would be electric instead of horse drawn. There's a whole bunch of those rickshaws in Central Park as well. We've taken those where people pedal.
Yeah,
Like
that's
these guys are
dangerous, though.
pedals. It is dangerous. They go out on the street. But anyway, I'd rather have a human being pedaling me than a horse pulling me in a carriage. So I was like really interested. I was like, well, I don't even know how many carriages there are, horses there are in New York City. So I looked it up. There are currently 68 licensed horse-drawn carriages in New York, each holding a city-issued medallion. While there are 68 active carriages, the industry operates with a total pool of approximately 170 to 230 licensed horses and around 170 active drivers. This goes on to say the iconic industry primarily operates around Central Park in Midtown Manhattan, is currently at the center of intense debate, as it always has been. I remember years ago we were in the city, and there were people protesting, and I was like, okay, you guys go ahead. I'm going to stay here and protest with these guys.
I remember
Do you remember that? I was like, okay, I got it. These are my people. This is where I need to be. I need to be protesting.
I think we were there with the twins.
I think so. Yeah. So we're really going to hope to see that, we don't want people to lose their jobs, right? We want them to keep their jobs, and we want the horses to be rehomed and go to sanctuary. And let's end this industry already. This is just cruelty. I'm telling you, there's so many posts on Facebook, especially on my feed, because I get all the animal updates about this horse, Denise, who passed away. My thing is, a lot of people are like pushback. So the pushback is, this is nostalgia. This is, romantic, and we're romanticizing this industry. But it really is definitely a cruel industry. So all I did was I posted horse-drawn carriages belong in the past. Electric carriages can provide the same iconic New York City experience without asking horses to work in busy traffic, extreme weather, and crowded streets. It's time for a humane, modern transition. That was my post.
Mm-hmm.
I got over 10,000 responses, likes, dislikes, laughing faces. It's crazy. I can't even believe it. But a lot of people are like, you're dreaming. This is baloney. It's never going to happen. Yeah, I got 12,000.1.
We even have a person that listens to Native Roots Radio have posted something here, if you can see that. It's you people are very weird after the horse saved the rats. And I think maybe we should save the rats. I mean, we're talking about our sacred animals.
Exactly.
Hey, while you're looking up at that, can I read something?
Yes,
another
please.
person put up here.
Yeah.
This person doesn't have a name that I can, but they said, installed the Cruelty Cutter app. It's been an eye-opening. Thanks for the knowledge. And that's the kind of stuff I like to hear.
That's great. Yeah. So again, just briefly, there's a free app on your iPhone or Android. It's called Cruelty Cutter. And you put the app on your phone, and when you go to the store, you can scan the barcode to see if the product has been tested on animals. And if it has, it'll say, bite back. This product is tested on animals, and it'll give you alternatives to buy that are cruelty free. So I know I always use it. It's really good to buy like detergents, cosmetics and things. It's really good for shampoos and hairspray and cosmetics and things like that. So just scan the barcode, and Cruelty Cutter will tell you whether it's whether you should buy it or not, and give you alternatives. So
wow, this is the end of the show.
I know, I can't believe it. So
Jeez.
yeah, I'm going to be
next.
Go Knicks, exactly. And we'll keep you posted on what's going on with the horse Denise. I'm really interested in finding out what the cause of death was. So we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, thank you always, Peony Gigi, for the update. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. We'll see you tomorrow.
Culture prevents so many negative things from